Hello and welcome back to Life by Design. I'm Karyn of Healing in Bloom. And today's message is all about why secondary gain leads to secondary pain. Now, secondary gain is when you are actually benefiting from a choice that you know is not in your highest good. It's when you have a specific goal or outcome in mind and you're not taking the actions that are necessary to get you there. And sometimes people have an experience of themselves when they are self-sabotaging, where they see themselves doing the exact thing that they don't want to do. And the higher part of them is sort of observing what is happening. So usually when people are caught in self-sabotage, they are well aware of what is going on, and they're well aware of the fact that they don't want to continue that type of behavior, but that's exactly what self-sabotage is. So what is at the root of the secondary gain and the self-sabotage? Self-sabotage is rooted in negative emotions, limiting beliefs, and incongruent values at the unconscious level. That is why when you know exactly consciously what the steps are that you want to take, you know that desired outcome that you have, and yet there's this other part of you that's driving your behaviors and your choices and actually leading you to a result that you don't want. And that is self-sabotage. So if you're finding that you're in that place, it is because there are some other things going on at the subconscious level with your emotions, your beliefs, and your value system. I'm not going to go into depth on those today. I just want you to know where that self-sabotage is coming from. And it's actually a very natural part of being a human. When we look at the unconscious mind and what its jobs are, one of the jobs is to make your dreams and your beliefs about yourself a reality. And so if, for example, you have a belief about yourself that you're not good enough, even though you have specific goals, there's always a part of you that is going to make that belief true, because that's one of the prime directives of your unconscious mind, is to make your beliefs a reality. And if you have been feeling disempowered by the results that you've been getting or by the self-sabotage, know that simply if you were able to change that limiting belief at the unconscious level, you would have a completely different experience for yourself and of yourself. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Is it's not entirely your fault. I mean, a lot of these limiting beliefs and choices that we've made about ourselves were made long before we even have a conscious memory. It could be in this lifetime, maybe something from when you were just a few months old, or it may even be something from a past life or something that was passed down to you genealogically. So these are all considerations that take you beyond where your conscious mind is able to take you. And so I want to open your awareness up to that today, and for you to know that it's actually within your capacity to create your goals exactly the way you want them. The one thing that you need to invite on board is your unconscious mind. So for today, I want to share a simple way that you can start transforming the self-sabotage using your conscious mind, because unconscious stuff is a little bit trickier and it usually requires some help and facilitation. But using your conscious mind, there are things that you can do today. Look at your goal and ask yourself, is this something that I truly want? Is this in my highest good, the highest good of the people who are close to me, and the highest good for the people all around me in the community? And if the answer is yes, it's usually a goal that is connected to a higher purpose. Okay, so that's good. And then the second thing that you want to do is you want to ask yourself, what actions do I need to take that are going to move me towards that goal? And so if you have a goal to be at a certain weight, there are certain things like exercise and food choices that are going to be important to getting you toward that goal. And that's where the self-sabotage can attempt to creep in. When you are consciously making a choice, it requires discipline. Okay, so as you go throughout your day, consciously make choices that are actually going to move you towards your goals. So I think of those choose your own adventure books from the 80s. I grew up in the 80s, and I used to love those books because there were so many different outcomes that could happen based on one simple choice. And so I want you to look at all the power that you have within you to create a different outcome, an alternative ending for your life, if you are simply to make a new choice. And if you find that even when you're consciously trying, you're still bumping up against a wall and hitting that dead end, you know, sometimes it's because you've reached a threshold. And at that point, it's always a wise choice to invest in help and to look at some resources that can actually help you to release some of those negative emotions, limiting beliefs, and value incongruencies. So I've included information below on how to get in touch with me. That's exactly what I help my clients do. And from beginning to end, they're able to release those subconscious blocks and move past self-sabotage, so it truly is in their history. Find the information below and simply reach out to me. For those of you who really want to try to do this on your own, there are those things that you can do today, and it's simply checking in with your goals, making sure they're coming from a higher place. And then the second thing is to ask yourself, what actions are going to move me toward that goal? What are the first successful steps that I can take? And usually these are baby steps. What are those first successful steps that I can take that are going to move me closer to that outcome? And that's what you do. Day by day, you take those baby steps towards your goals. And if you think about something like erosion, just the simple lapping of the waves on the rocks are going to create amazing changes in the structures of earth, of rock. And that's the power of your consistent action, simply every day doing something that is going to move you closer. That's going to create a solid transformation in your life. And that's what's so exciting. So once again, just like in those choose your own adventure books, if you are at a fork in the road and you choose a path that actually leads you to a dead end, that is creating your own pain. Okay, so I want you to make the connection between the secondary gain that may be happening by perpetuating a self-sabotaging behavior. Usually it's something like safety or protection, and the correlation to creating secondary pain in your life. The secondary gain is temporary, right? It's a temporary Band-Aid, and it's not actually giving you the result that you want. And that's what I mean by secondary pain. In order to prevent that, you need to ask yourself, what must I do that I don't want to do that's actually going to take me closer to my goal? And that takes commitment, it takes patience, and sometimes it takes support. In order to prevent secondary pain, we want to take actions from a place of higher alignment, no longer seeking the secondary gain that leads us to those dead ends. You already know where those pathways lead to, and part of the reason why people continue repeating those self-sabotaging patterns is simply because it's something that they're used to. Okay, so consciously make a different decision moving forward. You can start that today and try it this week. See how your week goes when you actually take aligned actions that are going to move you toward that desired outcome. Have fun with it. Let me know how it goes in the comments below. And if you like this post, go ahead and click like or subscribe. Thank you again for joining me on Life by Design, and I'll see you next week.